Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend. So I started here in the super zoomed out view so that we could see Blue has expanded eastward and picked up Semhin, which is a little awkward for us. If they don't have one of their armies in this region next turn, I believe this quest will complete, and then that village will just be pacified and helping them. It's a little unfortunate for us. Red has actually expanded to their east, which I'm a little unhappy about. I kind of was hoping they would go to Revote and that there would be some chance of friction between Blue and Red. As it is, Red is, like, they have nothing to focus on but us at the moment, and I'm still a little worried about the Broken Lords just being very aggressive weirdos sometimes. But we have a more immediate problem, which is these haunts. So, first things first. I think we're going to make it through the winter just fine. Yeah, we're still positive on food. Yeah, everything's okay. Just keep building stuff. Just keep doing the thing we're good at. Alright, we just finished the research that allows us to purchase units and heroes from the marketplace. Now, traditionally, I don't buy a lot of units, but I have to say, buying a ship can sometimes be very valuable. The Sea Ruins can have some really great stuff in them. What we definitely want to do, though, is buy a hero. And then I think we have enough money to buy 2 heroes. But I think it might be a better idea for us to buy 1 hero and then save dust to try to rush the end of our wonder that we're working on here. I don't know. Let's have an actual look at them, shall we? As you can see, the heroes are from a variety of different factions. Once they're hired in, you know, they're with us, but they still won't benefit from whatever that trait was called. I don't know. There's a trait that gives us extra... Is it from Born of Ash? Yeah. Kopaku units and heroes gain bonus stats on volcanic terrains. They will be heroes that are working for the Kopaku, but they will not be Kopaku heroes, so they won't benefit from this. So let's have a look at them. You've got here Bazi Safar Bahas. This guy is a roving clans dude. A rover? I don't know. He has Dust Boost 1. What we're probably looking for here is a governor. We don't really need a secondary military commander. We're not going to be able to run a second army just yet anyway, because, you know, we don't have any troops. And it would be cool to boost our cities a little bit. So Satasa the Third here has Influence Boost 2. I guess I should actually zoom in and talk about what we're looking at here. So every hero has their personal combat stuff, and then most heroes, in addition to that, have 1 skill that boosts cities if they govern them, and 1 skill that boosts armies that they're leading. This guy's kind of a bad example because he doesn't have an army skill. Here, Ipsawatch is a great example. This is a very common formation here. You got all their personal combat stuff, and then a boost to the damage of an army they lead, and extra industry per citizen working industry in a city. So what we're really looking for is somebody whose city bonus is cool. I have to say, though, I do like industry efficiency. You may have noticed that we have all of our citizens currently working industry. John Port the Shadow gives Dust Boost 3, which is just quite a lot of extra dust, right? Yeah, 6 dust per level, plus 1% dust per level. He's currently level 1, though. Level 1 with no XP, so a little inconvenient. Influence Boost 3, that's a lot of extra influence. We could use more influence. Our influence income is pretty poor right now. We haven't actually spent any yet, but we're going to need quite a lot of it eventually. So the 2 necrophage heroes have this slavery ability. If they are governing a city, you get extra food and industry for each pacified village in the region, and I'll leave that to you to figure out exactly how that works, but it's not great. It's not pleasant. Dust efficiency 2. This hero is unusual in that he has 2 army boosting skills and no city boosting skill. And Soyala Tocho, who has industry boost 2. So I think we're probably taking either Soyala Tocho or Ipsawacha the Third. There's 2 reasons for that. First of all, they both have industry boosting skills, and you know how I feel about industry. But secondly, they're both Wild Walkers, and the Wild Walker faction part of the tree gives an industry boost, followed by an industry boost, then a reduction in the amount you're paying for the buildings in your cities, and finally an industry boost. They're very, very powerful heroes for getting cities going if you can pick them up early so that you can guarantee to level them up. Makes me really want one of them. Their combat stats do matter, because the governor of the city will fight in the city's defense if it is attacked. These guys are both ranged. You can see the class. This crossbow is, or this bow and arrow is ranged. 110 health, 4 movement, 49 attack, 41 defense. These are okay stats. You can see Ipsawacha has far more actual damage, but as a trade-off has quite a bit less health and less defense. So industry efficiency is plus 2 industry per citizen working on industry. The Soyala Tocho is giving plus 4 industry per Soyala Tocho's level. So this is more powerful initially. It would actually be about the same effectiveness right now, right? Because our capital's all the way up at 3 population already. I say all the way up at, like that's a good number. Yeah, let's go Ipsawacha. He's a slightly better fighter. As a ranged unit, the fact that he has lower health shouldn't be a big deal. We should be able to protect him. So let's throw him in here, because I really, really would love to get this wonder. Took 2 turns off the wonder just by being present. Wildwalkers know a thing or two about getting stuff built. And then the question. So as it is, it looks like we could probably buy about 2 turns off of this, but maybe we should just buy another hero to serve as governor. Maybe we should buy the other Wildwalker. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We'll just have both of them work in our cities. You'll notice we are now losing quite a bit of money. It is not super cheap to pay heroes, but the output gain is considerable. Okay, so we're in a position here where Geomic Labs is actually relatively significant here. May as well queue stuff up. By the way, just to be clear about something, there's no negative value in not having stuff queued up. There was a comment or two about this on the last video, and I've actually got this a number of times on various Endless Legend and Endless Space videos. If you finish a building and there's nothing in the queue, the overflow industry doesn't just disappear. That would be a very strange way for them to have implemented it. Your cities will hold overflow for the turn that they finish the thing, so that the next thing you put in the queue benefits from it. And the same is true for research. You don't need to pre-queue things in order to not lose your overflow. That would be really crappy, like when you're researching the last tech of Tier 1 and you can't yet queue up the Tier 2 techs or something. Yeah, that's not a concern. So we have a couple of important things left to research, and we are almost up to the next tier. We could research Geomancers. I don't know what this Geomancy spell that they can cast is. It could be relevant. There's also the Empire Mint and the Public Library, sort of like the basic dust and science buildings, both of which are quite good. And then there's the sewer system, which is a permanent 20-point approval boost on the city. It usually is the case that you want either sewer systems or the second-tier version of them, the central market, in most of your cities. Sometimes, depending on circumstances, you may need both. But I think for right now, I'm going to try to skip sewer system and get central market instead. And it might well be the case that we just go Empire Mint and Public Library. We don't have the ability to mine our own luxury resources, which at the moment is not a big deal because we don't have access to any luxury resources. I guess we can come back and get that later if it turns out to be relevant. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Science and Dust, and that'll get us into the next tier. We can pick up our other big military unit. I think we are going to want these guys. And what we could really use is a ranged unit. These guys have 3 range, but like most support units, they don't really deal much damage when they attack. We need to pick up a minor faction that can use a bow or something. And there are certainly minor factions out there that fit the bill. Alright, yeah, for now I guess we are just hitting end turn. I'm pretty confident we're going to get this now. Finishing it on turn 24. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. And remember, our dust situation is going to get better when the winter ends. Right now, part of the problem is that a lot of our tiles that would be producing 1 dust are instead producing 0 dust. So before we move the hero, let's resolve this battle. The Haunts attacked us before I could snap the hero to the army. I didn't really think they were going to be that aggressive, but I guess I should have known. So Ipsawacha gets to see battle here. And we're going to do our best to have the brunt of this this battle taken on the militia, the garrison of the city. So it's a little tricky to keep Haunts from attacking the targets they want to attack because they can fly, and the fact that they can fly also means that they can do melee attacks over height differences. So like, if one of our golems was here, they couldn't attack a unit that's in this hex because of the cliff face. But Haunts will just fly up the cliff face and hit you and then fly back. So I'm hoping that... how much movement do they have? Only 2? Alright. They're not going to be able to get close enough to lock people in place on top of our reinforcement flags. When you have units coming in as reinforcements, there's a couple of spots on the battlefield that have flags on them. Those are your reinforcement points. And 1 reinforcement unit will appear on each flag each turn. But, obviously, that won't happen if there's a unit already on them. So, if you're fighting an enemy who has reinforcements coming in, you can sometimes play very far forward and then rush their reinforcement flags with fast units, hit them before they get to execute their orders, and because their counterattack will take their turn, they'll be stuck in place and you'll prevent the reinforcements from appearing. Whenever you have reinforcements coming in, you have to be careful of the same thing happening to you. I think these are fine positions. Like, I do want our guys in, I just don't want them in yet. This dude has 3 range. He has this forest rage skill, which gives him bonus attack on forest tiles. Obviously, not a real concern here. So let's have him... Let's see. They're going to move first. They're probably just going to fly pretty much straight forward. I would expect them to end up here and here, or here and here. So actually, he should be able to shoot from back here just fine. You guys act last, so I'm gonna have them actually just not do anything for the first turn. Or never mind, we can move forward. They won't be able to get into attack range anyway. Whoa. Okay, I don't know why the camera jumped all the way to the side there. I'm gonna instruct this guy to move to here, just so that there's no chance he ends up adjacent to an enemy. I don't want him to initiate an attack on a Haunt that hasn't attacked yet, and I think there are versions of this where that does happen. Actually, I'm just going to order you to go directly to there. Yeah, see, I didn't want him to move adjacent to a guy, but I didn't predict correctly what their actions would be, and so I still had him do that. And now I think it is going to be the case that our stone golems are going to get the brunt of this attack, which sucks. We're going to probably lose one. If they both focus on this guy, he's going to die. He's going to do some damage on his way out, but I was really hoping not to lose any units here, so that we would have them available for the fight against the... Okay, they chose not to focus, actually, which is a blessing for us. Yeah, I'd really like to have both of these guys alive for the battle against the village. Unfortunately, now they're in terrible shape. Let's see if it'll let us just bail out of here. Okay, so you can see... They hit one of our units, and then the attack, a portion of the attack, travels along a chain of contiguous units. That's what the chain lightning skill does. It's very, very good, as you might imagine. So now we're all messed up. Well, we can garrison. I believe garrisoning these units causes them to heal faster. I think that's a real thing. Yeah, they'll probably be fine. Let's hope that gets done quickly, though. Unfortunately, unlike in Endless Space, I don't believe it is the case, unless I've forgotten how to do it. I don't believe it is the case that we can just use dust to immediately heal them. The dust is pretty magical. Oh, run away! I spawned a quest army. Don't really want to fight. They're going to catch up to me. Okay. A casual camp in a protected dell led one of your patrols to inadvertently desecrate a graveyard. Oops. The tribe to whom it belongs revere their ancestors, and in their eyes the holy ground has been fouled. The site can only be cleansed with blood. Blood is a terrible cleaning agent, by the way. So if we defeat the Avenging Army, we'll get 20 influence. Unfortunately, they're quite a bit faster than I am. Huh, it says it thinks I will win. That feels not correct to me. I guess I do have Cavalry Slayer. Should we fight this? I have 72 attack and 52 defense. Oh, they're not really going to be able to hit me. Yeah, okay. I guess let's go ahead and go for this. We might well do this. So, I have to be a little careful. Unfortunately, there's not quite a way to bottleneck them to prevent them from all being able to hit me. And I'm wondering if maybe it's a smart idea to back up a little bit. Try to draw them forward. They have 5 move. That's no good. I may well be best off here just charging them. So I get to go first. Let's go to here, because this gives me the maximum movement spend. So you can get a little bit more attack down. Actually, my attack is so high, I probably will have the highest possible attack table against them anyway. The extra movement probably doesn't actually help in this case. Okay, so he managed to do a whole 0 damage. Focus. Yeah, you can see their attack table against us is pretty poor. May as well spend some of this movement. Yeah, we're going to get them. We're going to be really, really weak afterward, though. Yeah, I wonder if it's the case that they changed how the attack system works, or something's up. Because it used to be a single roll, and I conducted quite a bit of testing to prove that. It used to be a single roll that pretty well matched the percentages given on the table down there. But it seems like either there's a serious reporting problem now that's like inflating percentages in a really weird way, or it's now a multi-roll system or something. I didn't see anything about a change to the combat system in the patch notes, and that would be a huge change. So I assume it's a reporting error, but it's a weird big error. So now I'm debating, like, an extra accessory slot on this hero is not particularly meaningful right now. We don't really have any good equipment. We certainly don't have enough accessories to need another accessory slot. But the stuff beyond the accessory slot is pretty good. Initiative for all of the units in the army, that's pretty cool. Or we could take the extra point of movement on the army, which is also a powerful skill. Being able to get where you're going, obviously, is pretty important. I'm going to go for this. Alright, so we got our 20 influence, which is probably not terribly important, but it is nice to have gotten, because we are going to have an empire plan coming up soon, which is where we're going to use all of this influence. Okay, so you have 12 health. Let's end the turn here and see how much we heal after 1 turn in the garrison. I'm hoping it's a lot. It was 16 points. So, no, it's not super fast, unfortunately. With the passage of an era and the advancement of science, some ancient mechanism has decided that it is time to open fortress facilities for your exploitation. So these facilities that are becoming available are things that are out in the sea. There are these big naval outposts that have facilities on them that produce resources and do all kinds of other things. Not something we really get to interact with right now. We're playing a pretty landlocked game for the moment. So somebody hit the second era. That's what triggers this. You can see the glimpse of a new era. It also unlocks the second era legendary deeds, one of which is this great big new wonder burrow that we see here, the Baron of Industry, or the Industrial Megapole. The achievement is called Baron of Industry. It's a wonder, much like the one that we're currently building, that gives a ton of industry. Obviously, it's pretty important. We should look at the other ones. We haven't actually done that. To the first person to have at least 30 units of one luxury resource at the end of their turn goes quite a bit of wine, 130 wine. That would be handy to get. And the first person to pacify 8 villages gets plus 15% initiative on all of their units for the rest of the game. As you can see, some of these are pretty significant. We have pacified 2 villages, which has us in 4th place out of 6 players. I think it's very unlikely we're getting this. Also, just opened up, be the first player to earn 2,000 influence from the beginning of the game. We are very unlikely to win this. Be the first to defeat at least 3 armies led by a hero in order to gain the reward. This will go to probably one of the first 2 players to make war on another player. We'll see. It's not impossible that could be us. And it would be cool to get the Industrial Megapole. I don't know that it's a thing we can realistically do in this city. Never mind, man. We're really good at industry. Should I... should I do this? The territory we would pick up is pretty good, right? Like, I'd build it here. We would grab that tile, which is pretty fantastic. It means that we're not really building anything significant in our cities for a little while, but both of our cities are going to be production powerhouses after this. Yeah, we have 5 turns of basically doing nothing, but after that, think of how good we'll be after that. Alright, so where do we want to go? Well, there is a thing to search over here. I suppose this is as good a direction as any. Let's see here, a wine deposit. Also, another player. Among the strange and wondrous things you have discovered while traversing Auriga is this new oddity, the Ian Byforge. A creation of the Endless, it seems to have been constructed to allow the simultaneous smithing of 2 different strategic resources. While the idea is not overly complex, it is clear that you will require the aid of delvers to efficiently exploit the forge, without continually cracking your head on its unusually low exhaust fan. Yeah, delvers are basically dwarves. This is a minor faction that's out there in the world somewhere. If we come back with some delvers in our army and these resources, we'll get a pretty sweet bow. I'm not too worried about that. That's not a big deal. Also, we met Green. Who is Green? Oh. The Mizari. Vaulters. Okay, sometimes you can make friends with the Vaulters. It helps to not be right up against their border. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about our overall position here. Especially since we're now focused on internal stuff and we're not building troops like I was kind of thinking we would. Listen, we'll get to it. We'll get there. Alright, it's Empire Plan time. First of all, I'm going to use my hero to snipe these pearls. My pearls, get out of here. And then we're just going to, I guess, run through their territory real fast. Let's try to be somewhere else. They're probably going to be annoyed about the pearl thing. Okay, so now it's time for the Empire Plan. This is one of the major uses of influence. Every 20 turns, you'll be asked to spend influence in this little chart here to unlock bonuses that will last until you have to make your next Empire Plan. So if we were to hit apply right now, plus 20% science for all of our cities for 20 turns. I think this is probably the way we're going. Research is really important. That said, a unit cost reduction is also powerful. You can see each direction we drag this out in is going to cost us more influence. This is pretty handy, and we do intend to build units in the next 20 turns, but we'll also be spending a lot of time building other stuff. So I'd prefer to spend my influence on a bonus that we will always be benefiting from. And this is also probably better than this, which helps. As we move up through the eras, we will unlock more tiers. And some of these things in future eras are incredibly powerful. But there is an escalating cost, like a rapidly escalating cost, to dragging yourself further out in any direction. So we're going to have to fix up our influence generation if we want to take advantage of any of that stuff. Alright, let's just keep an eye on our hero, make sure we don't get sniped. This is actually the only thing on the world map that we have to care about right now. And the winter's going to last 1 to 6 more turns. At some point in the future, it will be summer again. I have to imagine that the Kapaku are not super into all this cold. Alright, even more pearls. Pearls can be handy. Okay, yep, somebody else beat us to this thing. It was the Alayi, in fact. That's not a big surprise. Alayi units are very fast, especially during the winter. Okay, so we could pacify these guys by just giving them 8 of our glass steel. I think that that's an okay thing to do. Except that there's no benefit for it anymore now that we no longer have access to this, because there's no chance that we make it down here and settle this. So I'm gonna just let these guys be somebody else's problem. Oh, we discovered a big two-handed sword. Now, those are some pretty good stats. Plus 21 attack, plus 30% attack, plus 24 damage, plus 30% damage. Infantry Slayer 3. He can't use it, unfortunately, because it's a sword, and he is a spears and hammers hero. I think that's a cavalry thing. I'm not sure that I'm familiar with any cavalry hero who can use a sword. Most heroes have like 2 classes of weapons that they are restricted to. What else? I guess let's just keep looking around. Obviously, I plan to snap my hero back to my armies at some point, so it's pretty safe to roam out here. Okay, we found 10 spices, which is a luxury resource you can pop to improve food generation. At this point, the amount of science we're getting out of these ruins is pretty trivial, not really helping at all. Yep, they are mad about the pearls, like I said. Listen, we're far away from them. I'm not too worried. Summer has returned, making everything lush and green, and now we're still losing dust, but not by very much anymore. This is going to help a lot. Yeah, we're going to be in a really, really good spot once that's done. How are we doing with these troops? Okay, these guys are almost back to full health. Our hero is not healing on account of not being in our territory, I guess. We should probably do something about that. I guess let's go ahead and pop these guys out. Hold the hero back here. And then we can at least threaten the Haunt Village. It's unfortunate that we haven't managed to find any dyes. Okay, the gold booster has ended, and it was actually responsible for a lot of our fiscal solvency. So let's go ahead and reactivate that. We do not have enough gold to do it again, so we better resolve our economic situation before that runs out. So we have some Sisters of Mercy roaming out from that village over there. We should probably do something about that. Thing is, we also have to do something about this. And I'm thinking about being aggressive on these guys sometime in the future. Like, after we finish this wonder, probably we need to build some units, at least fill this army up. And then once we've done that, we can maybe make a threat to these guys. But I'm thinking we should maybe drop a volcano former over here somewhere, because our units fight better on volcanic terrain. Let's see, this is just... Oh, if we wait one more turn... Actually, I didn't mean to tell you to move. If we wait one more turn to attack, this district will be in reinforcement range, so we will get the city garrison to come and fight with us. So actually, let's wait until next turn, and then we'll have at them. And it looks like we did in fact get it. So first of all, let's take a moment and admire our handiwork. This is pretty cool. I don't really know how that works, but it's neat. And it's given us 20 extra approval. So you can see it mentions the level of the Museum of Auriga. You can actually level up your districts by building more districts around them. As your city gets larger and fancier, the individual districts themselves become more effective. We will totally do that. Eventually. We have some other stuff to worry about right now. I would love to make some more stone sentinels, but before we do that, hold on. Let's do this first. So you can see now there is one district of the city within reinforcement range, so when we attack here, we do get the city garrison, which is awesome. Alright, we need to keep our hero safe. Remember, our hero has the last stand ability, and so won't actually die if it is reduced to 0 health in the battle here, but I would love it if we could actually get him healed. So I think I'm going to have these units just kind of stand out of the way. And again, we let the city garrison do most of the fighting for us. You need to chill out for a turn, and I'm actually going to have you guys back up even. Let's make sure that we Move this guy off of the spawner before he fires. I kind of want to move him up to here because there is a high ground attacking bonus, but I also don't really want him to be on the front lines because his defenses, his stats are actually not that bad. Still, I don't want him making even trades with these enemies. I guess we'll do this. And then you also try to kill that guy. Okay, that's maybe not the way I would have done that, but I appreciate the bravery at least. So you have 3 range. We could back up to here for shooting, take advantage of the high ground attack bonus. Because I think where we are now, we're at the same height as that guy, right? Down, down, down. No, wait, we're considerably higher than him. Never mind. Where you are right now is fine. Okay. They killed the militia, but that's not really a big deal. And they spent their attack already, so it's fine to have our other units run forward and do stuff. I am going to have you... I guess odds are this thing's going to get a good hit off. I'm going to have our hero actually run like way out of the way, just so that we don't get a chain lightning that does any damage. I would love it if our hero could get back to full health sometime soon. Yeah, alright. One little hit. This guy will recover that pretty quickly. Okay, so the haunts are all the way subjugated. It's unfortunate that we couldn't do that the pleasant way. The wine ran out, but we just got a boost from building the museum, so we're still happy. It's tough to stay ecstatic, but happy's good. Alright, so obviously we're building up toward our big industry boosts here. These Wild Walker heroes are already pulling their weight. I would love it if we could rebuild this haunt village. And then, stone sentinels. So let's talk about troops. Here we have the design for our basic stone sentinel. He's a pretty cool looking dude. I like the open gout of flame on his back. That's neat. And if we pop in here, we can see our guys are coming out equipped with a simple two-handed sword, the most basic two-handed sword you can make, and no armor, barely any clothing, really, although, frankly, I don't know why they need loincloths. Are we building them with genitals? Is that a thing we're doing? Because it shouldn't be, right? So we can drag some stuff in here. So, for example, we could give them a little bit of chest armor, which will give us an extra 6 defense and 12 health. Put some boots on them, a little bit of extra initiative and defense. And then we have an accessory slot here where we could put a ring that'll give them improved vision and sharp sense, which makes them more likely to not get hit hard by ranged attacks, or just extra movement. Make stuff fast on the map. I do tend toward these talismans early on, but rings are a good way of making troops that are not shielded, the troops that can't wear shields, a little bit more resistant against arrows. If we're planning to go to war against the Broken Lords, that won't be a problem because they don't have archers. So yeah, let's say this is our new build. This would be 146 industry to build. The basic design with none of that stuff is 104. So there is a cost to good equipment, but I feel comfortable paying that. Our industry output's pretty good. So let's queue up 2 of these guys. Do I want to maybe hold off on the Haunts Village? I kind of want to get the Stone Sentinels done first. So we'll drag that down in the queue. And we can pay a retrofit cost, as long as our army's in our territory. We can pay a retrofit cost to upgrade these guys to the current design. Unfortunately, we don't actually have that money, and we're not super likely to have it anytime soon. Man, I want to know what's going on over here, but I'm a little worried that if we run our army and we will find ourselves in a bad position. We should probably just head this way and take care of this other Sisters of Mercy village. We don't need minor factions marauding around our territory. Alright, so we got our builds going. Where are we on the next... Okay, there'll be another birth in 2 turns, so that'll be more industry for the Megapole. We definitely cannot afford to pay any dust to finish it off. I do think we spent our dust well, though. Heroes are really, really nice to have. Oh, I wasn't even keeping track of the dust eclipse, but I guess we're coming up on that time again, aren't we? Let's go get this pearl that's just sitting here in our building district. And, oh, the minor faction village that had given us this quest, either they were destroyed or somebody else colonized the region. It is, in fact, the latter. Okay, well, if blue and red end up at war, that will be a very, very good time indeed for us to strike. I guess we can just go for the village. I'm not too worried about the Sisters of Mercy posing a threat in battle. That army that they have running around here could be annoying. They could siege the city, they could mess with our resource outputs, but I think we're okay. We really need to fix our cash flow problem, though. Alright, so we have a conflux up here. Which one is this? Minus 60% upkeep on units. Well, that would be pretty handy. Plus 50% health regen. Yeah, that would help with our dust problem, that's for sure. Alright, go and become cheap to maintain. You can see pearls appear over the water as well. Alright, let's help with our dust problem a little bit. Oh, you know what? We should wait until next turn, because actually, I think if we attacked from here, so we could rotate the size of this zone, we might be able to get Idali in on the fight. And we're not in any big hurry here. Alright, nothing new on that. I was just curious if the second Dust Eclipse had anything new to say. So when we finish these Stone Sentinels next turn, we'll have them run around and pick up all this stuff. Is this... Do we have a speed conflux anywhere? I guess, actually, the graphic for these is a little bit different than the other ones. And these are all the same type. Are they... They might all be, like, visually distinct, yeah. The attack one's kind of a rotating cube. Okay, that's useful. A good way to add a glance. Do they have a minimap symbol? They do not. Or a scaled-out map symbol, rather. Alright. That's fine. So, we're about to enter Era 2. Not that long after the AI player did. Probably most of the AIs are in Era 2 by now. You know, high-level AIs get some help with their resources. So we've entered the Age of Glory. Hey, look at that, a boat. We have a roaming boarding vessel over there. We've encountered the Fomorians. That's their boat. These guys live out on the fortresses out in the ocean. They are not our concern currently. Yep, this does, in fact, allow us to bring our garrison to bear. In this case, I'm not that concerned with it, though. Like, Justiciars deal very little damage. We can just rush them. Yep, just everybody have at them. So because of the way we attack them, their reinforcement zone is just this one little... Or their deployment zone is just this one tile. So... We're only going to fight one of them, and this was their only reinforcement tile, so the second unit couldn't even come in. What are you guys doing? They ran onto the reinforcement spot and prevented the battle from continuing. I am very caught off guard by that. Well, that's annoying. I was going to finish these guys off and then run away. Now we can't attack, because each attack costs an action point, and the army only has one. I didn't even realize that that was a possibility. Also, apparently we're waiting one more turn to get our Stone Sentinel over here. Well, I mean, we need to finish the job, so I guess just chill out for a minute. I should point out, we have now assimilated the haunts, or we have the ability to assimilate the haunts. They give plus 5% science on your whole empire for each rebuilt haunts village that you have. And the haunts unit is a flying... I mean, it's the thing we fought, right? It's a flying infantry unit that does chain lightning. It's pretty cool, but I still would really rather save that slot for somebody who has range. The slot itself, you can dump a faction out and then put a new faction in. It's not like the slot will lock, but it costs influence to assimilate, and I don't want to spend the influence when we can spend it on something else instead. Alright, so we have access to a whole new wheel of technologies here. So roughly, down here in the bottom, you have the technologies that affect empire and expansion. This includes all of the approval-based techs. On this side, you got your science and production. On this side, stuff that affects military. And over here, kind of just everything else. So, we could research the Golem Camp, which lets us build a bonus point of population in a city. That actually seems pretty good. We have our Golem Rider, which is something we probably want to get a hold of. And then there's a bunch of other really important stuff here. This is where I would like to get the ability to build better weapons. There's also this tech, which gives you +2 army slots, army unit slots, which means we'll be able to put 6 units in our army instead of 4. It also does lower the amount of upkeep we're paying per army, which is definitely significant. This tech down here lets us build roads between our cities, which, first of all, obviously lets our units move much faster along them, but also gives us the ability to make trade routes, not just with our empire, but also with other people. This can be a lot of dust. You can also gain the unit to the ability to embark units, which is obviously pretty great for exploration. There's some more powerful science and industry and food buildings. There's access to the other half of the marketplace where we can buy resources, which is kind of cool. But I think let's start with the alchemical alloys. We're building troops. We're going to build new weapons to go with our troops, and then we are going to use our awesome new weapons to crush somebody. Hopefully, we can actually get something done. We have no idea what their military looks like right now. Alright, so one of our stone sentinels finished. Let's launch this attack before these guys move into reinforcement range, since that's clearly what they're going for. And I'm just going to auto-resolve this. This should be... yeah, nobody takes any damage. Okay, if you would like to fight about it, we are right here. Yeah, this is an important time for us. We have to shore up our economy. So it's no longer quite as important to have this guy run out and grab stuff, because the hero's army can get all this. I'm going to have him try to grab this one, then. Pick up that conflux on his way through. We have an army of wild Eresis. This is what those guys look like. The big multi-headed Hydra snake thing. Sort of looks like that one boss from House of the Dead 2. I hate that guy. I would assume that the sisters will attack us now. I think once they have no villages left, they get a little suicidal. I mean, they're always aggressive. Oh, wow, the Eresis actually came over here. Usually minor faction armies will not leave the zone they spawned in, so I thought we were safe there. Alright, well, we can just auto-resolve this. We don't need to jump in there. That's going to be a real easy battle. Justiciars are not good. Okay, this is interesting. They attacked us within reinforcement range of the city. So these guys have the circular attack and sweep strike back traits, which, as you might imagine, means that they attack many units near them instead of just a single target. I think we could probably win this. We're definitely going to want to manual it, though. So, once again, try to keep the stone sentinels safe, because we're reliant on them for offense. How much movement do you have? Only 2, wow. I thought it was going to be more than that. So you're going to move like... oh, you're going to move to here, actually. This is really awkward terrain for them. So I'm going to have our hero move off of the reinforcement pad, but over to here. We should be able to shoot cleanly at them for a couple of turns as they're navigating all these weird cliffs. How unfortunate for them. Actually going to have him stand over here in this forest. Standing in a forest confers a smallish defensive bonus. Okay, you get to go last, so his attack will already have been spent by then. That seems fine. Go ahead and have at him. So we're going to kill this guy here, then this one is going to yeah, get his attack spent by the first one of us to come over. Yeah, well, the game was predicting a battle that that did not go exactly the way that one went. We don't really get a lot of benefit out of fighting that guy, unfortunately. I mean, our unit gets some XP, and the level of our unit does matter, but not like a huge amount. Also, 85 dust is very welcome. We should probably... we might be in trouble here. Okay, well, if they attack us, we definitely have to run, because they have their very large city garrison, but we can probably get away. I'm going to try to run to... Yeah, let's try to run to here. So we'll wait until the turn. As soon as the next turn starts, we'll mash on this execute your planned movements button, and hopefully our army will make it away to safety. If we do have to retreat, it's not a big deal. It'll just we'll take some damage in the retreat, but not the end of the world. And let's grab a little bit more dust here. And by a little bit, I mean a ton more dust. These dust eclipses are working out really, really well for us, having settled directly on top of all of these temples. And this dust is what's going to help us retrofit with the new weapons once they become available. So hold on, we don't want to move right away. What I really want to do is wait until they start moving, because if I move right away, they could still just walk over here and attack us. I want to like do a little ring around this as they come after us. Oh man, this is a terrible game of chicken. I'm gonna move to here. Okay, they just moved a little bit. Oh, it looks like they're coming around that... I was not fast enough. They've come around that way to get us. Well, the bad news is we are not close enough to... We're not close enough to pull the garrison again. In fact, we had pulled their garrison, so we should definitely just retreat. You'll automatically lose 50% of your maximum health. If your army survives, it will be able to escape, and this does cost our action point. An army that has retreated cannot, later in the turn, participate in an attack. We actually can't quite get back to our territory because the awkward terrain around here, but we can get adjacent to our territory. They can't attack us again because they spent their action point. And then we can just spam the move into our territory command as soon as we begin the next turn. And 130 more dust, wow. We're also going to place this army right here. Now, we can't attack them because they're in their own territory. That would be an act of war. But we can be right here so that even if they do pull off an attack against our guy, we at least get to come in and reinforce him. And in fact, that means that we don't have to worry about pulling this guy out on our turn. If they want to attack us, that's actually good for us, because we'll get to pick off these two very damaged units for free. So yeah, let's just pass the turn then. We did get a quest. As a venerable and cautious race, rumor has it that the Dorgeshi have stockpiled vast mountains of resources in underground caverns beneath their villages. Perhaps it's time to bring the Dorgeshi into your ranks and test those rumors. Unfortunately, this is awesome, but we don't know where there are any Dorgeshi villages, so somebody else is going to get all that treasure. Alright, let's see what they do. They have the opportunity here to do something really, really stupid, and I would love it if they did. Yep, they're not close enough to their city to get... I don't know what they were thinking here. But yeah, we'll kill those guys. A chance to weaken their army before we potentially go to war with them. So, the Stalwarts are actually pretty good units. You can see 58 attack, 80 defense. These are Stalwarts. The fact that there's a number after their name means that this is an upgraded design. This is not their base stuff. All Broken Lord's units have this Soul Leech ability. If they attack something and then the thing dies that round, either as a result of their attack or as a result of stuff that happens later, they get a significant heal. Also, these guys, part of the reason they're walking around so injured is that Broken Lords are basically dust robots, sort of like vampire robots. It's complicated. Don't worry, we'll get to see plenty of them this game. You'll get used to it. So they don't heal naturally. They can only be healed by actually just like pouring dust into themselves. So I assume that the AI playing them did not feel that that was a good use of their resources. So they're going to get to move, wow, 5. They have really buff speed. Let's stand all the way back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that guy can still get to us, actually. Unfortunately, we don't know which of our units will spawn here. I would prefer that it be a Stone Sentinel and not our hero. I guess, actually, let's have this guy stand right here as kind of bait. Or maybe right there. I want him to be in a forest, and preferably in a place where they can't be in a forest while attacking him, but that's not really available. If I stand here, they probably won't end up in the forest. They'll probably move the shortest distance. He has 76 defense to their 58 attacks. They probably won't hit him very hard, and they don't have super great damage. Yeah, all right. Let's not move the hero all the way forward. And then, yeah, if you get the option, hit the weak guy. Alright, let's see what they do. The guy has run forward and suicided himself upon us. And that guy made an interesting decision. Wait, what did he just take damage from? Hold on, what was that? Not our inner fire. Huh, he took damage at the end of his turn. Oh! Okay, they've used their Dust Eclipse ability, which I think gives them bonus stats at the cost of doing damage to them every turn in combat. Doesn't... It seems like it maybe was not worth it. It's my, my feeling on that. Alright, well, I guess let's all just have at him in turn. Have our hero lead the attack, because he's pretty strong. The least likely to take damage while attacking. Okay. That was weird. That was a weird decision for them to make. I think what happened there probably was that the AI was not considering the reinforcement army. They were just like, oh, I can definitely take that guy. Why don't you join up? And we'll grab our other Stone Sentinel here. He also can join up. Okay. So let's go back to the unit designs. We have access to some better gear now. We have access to weapons made of titanium and glass steel. You'll probably see here, these weapons are considerably better. So we have, because we went into the next era, we have access now to Tier 2 iron gear. So, like, a Tier 2 iron claymore is 21 attack, 8 damage. A titanium claymore, sorry, that's an axe, a titanium claymore is 32 attack, 22 damage. The difference between strategic gear and non-strategic gear is huge. So, titanium just has really great stats. Glass steel has slightly less good stats, but a considerable amount of initiative. You can see 24 initiative on that. So, glass steel makes your units faster and better, while titanium makes your units better and better. Broken Lords don't have super high initiative. I think if we were to go with glass steel on these guys, we would be going before the Broken Lords. And there is value in that. 21 attack, 12 damage versus 32 attack, 22 damage. And they both have Infantry Slayer 3 on them. It's hard for me not to want to go with just like the more crushing stats, but there really is a lot of value in getting to pick your targets. Yeah, you know what? We have way more titanium, though. That probably is enough to make the decision for me. So that's going to increase their cost a little bit, as well as giving that retrofit has a titanium cost, as you might imagine. Let's go ahead and retrofit them all like that. Want to make sure we get those weapons on there. And then I'm going to upgrade them again with the better quality of armor, I think. So let's see, this is 10 armor, 26 health versus 6 and 12. Yeah, that's considerable. That's probably worth the upgrade. We have to be a little careful with money. Tier 2 necklace giving an extra point of movement. Honestly, oh, it gives initiative too. Yeah. Is that really worth it? It's 2 more initiative and 1 more map movement at a cost of 24 industry. I'm not sure what the dust conversion on that is, but for now I think I'm going to say no. Let's leave that talisman. This is probably already too expensive for us to retrofit to. It's not. Okay. Our units are better. Oh, you know what I didn't do is I didn't mess with our heroes' equipment. So, unfortunately, we may not have the money to do so. So our hero can go to a one-handed hammer and shield, or we can keep up with the spear, or we could go to a two-handed hammer. The one-handed hammer has stun 2 on it, which does pretty much what you might expect. 20% chance to make the target not do stuff for 2 rounds. The two-handed hammer has a 30% chance, and of course better combat stats, in exchange for the fact that you don't get to wield a shield. So this would only actually be 20 dust to do, huh? Alright, and there's not really any sense in giving him improved movement, because he's already not moving at his full speed with this army. You give him sharp sense to make him a little more tough against ranged attacks, but that's not really necessary, not with this enemy. What if I wanted to upgrade all of his gear, like just really tech him out to the 9s? That leaves us with like 40 dust left. We are losing dust rapidly, though. It's probably not a great idea. You know what? We'll fix it. I want us to be good at fighting. We can queue up the Empire Mill here, plus 5 dust, plus 15%. That actually fixes a lot of it right there. Empire Mill here as well, as soon as we finish the Wonder. I think that should be good. So... oh, that's right. We're paying pretty dramatically reduced upkeep right now. When this conflux ends in 2 turns, we're going to be hurting. Alright. Let's run into their territory. I'm going to make a break for one of these 2. I think we should be able to get to this one. Get ourselves a little bit more dust to work with, and then maybe we declare on them? Might be time to do a little violence here. We're at sort of a local maximum for military strength. We may want to pick up meritocratic promotion. So in 5 turns, we could roll 2 more armies into this, or 2 more units into this army and keep expanding our strength. What do we have to do to get that quest finished that makes us not have... we need to assimilate a minor faction. We should do that. We need to stop paying upkeep on our units. So, who wants an assimilation? This infantry is just not valuable to us at all. At least these guys potentially are valuable, and also 5% science output I think is better than the little bit of extra health regen. Yeah, alright, we'll assimilate you. I assume that we'll check after we hit end turn, since it didn't fire immediately. Alright, they're assimilated. We actually have one of their villages now, so we are getting the benefit of the effect. And sure enough, fractures in our society still run deep. Whether we will share this land or conquer it, we know not. But at least we have allies to strengthen our cause. Most pleasing of all, our new allies show us how to create even more powerful stone sentinels. That kind of makes sense. The haunts are, as you might imagine, creations of the Endless, so I could see them having some information. From the Journal of Custodian Actil. We are united in our survival, but the fault lines in our society grow. After leading a geological expedition, Overseer Elohis returned only to be ambushed by an angry crowd. They jostled the Endless, accusing it of deceiving the Kapaku, and demanding it admit the truth of why its people sent us to Auriga. I know not what truth they imagined, but their accusations found sympathy among many passers-by. Open riot seemed imminent until cooler heads prevailed. Privately, my mind too worries over these ideas. Are we being turned into tools, here to destroy an ancient enemy of the Endless? Or are we part of a cruel entertainment or experiment? Or are we, as Elohis maintains, simply unlucky to find Auriga inhabited? Custodian Tuaf stands fast by the latter. Even more than the High Priest of the Temple of the Saviors, she is the one who has become the figurehead of the Endless's defenders. The Endless saved us from the machines, she railed. Do we so easily forget? Overseer Elohis has forsaken its people, its home, its very physical form, so that we may benefit from its wisdom and survive this harsh world. Remember, we Kapaku are certainly fallible. She still burns from the Magma Council's refusal to address the machine incursion early enough. To our great shame, to my great shame, most of us thought them innocent visitors. And who paid the greatest price for that willful ignorance? The Haku clan. Tua's clan. So, we find ourselves split at either side of a fissure that runs deeper every day. The doubters and the defenders. I don't know who to believe. All I know is that there is no going back from Auriga. In spite of its harsh wildernesses, hostile races, and strange climes, it is now our home. With our forces strong, the time has come to thoroughly survey this land. We will have answers. Is Overseer Elois here for us, or the Endless? Auriga's ruins may hold the truth. So search 2 ruins in Samhin and Onis, and make sure you defeat anyone trying to stand in your way. Show me these. Okay, so 1 here and 1 here. Well, that might be a little bit tricky. Those are both in foreign territory. Oh wow, you can see the Alayi are expanding their city very aggressively. This one too. Or it might be that I'm expanding too slowly, but hey, listen, I built a wonder. Get off my back. I'm trying my best here. Right, also, we're here, so let's search this. 100 dust. That'll keep us solvent for a little while longer. The dust eclipse is about to end, so that temple's going to be not searchable anymore in a second. Is it time to go to war? We are, like I said, at a local maximum of unit effectiveness here. And we've spent all of our movement for this turn. Let's move to here. So we did get our Shaman's Insight. We're doing pretty alright on dust upkeep now. I'm kind of surprised we're still negative, actually. Can we... This says -4 from military upkeep, -42.3 from hero upkeep. Why -4? Huh. Oh, you know what? The army itself has an upkeep cost, is why. So yeah, the Stone Sentinels are now free, but we're still paying the small amount of upkeep cost on the army, which will be reduced by meritocratic promotion. You know what? I think I just realized we hit the hour. I think this is a good place to stop. I'm pretty sure we are going to attack, but I'm going to take a little bit of time and consider this. So, that's going to be it for us for the moment. Come back next time, sometime tomorrow, for more stuff. I was about to say bloodshed, but I'm not sure that we have blood. Most of our soldiers are made of rock, and also the Broken Lords definitely don't have blood. But anyway, part shed. Anyway, and we'll see you then.